But if you're watching me later, it's not really live. Or is it? Who knows? This time warp stuff. I don't even know if we're in the right timeline anymore. I gotta get used to this. I'm trying to set up the camera. See the camera angles, I'm used to doing the Digibug. It's no problem. I want to make sure I get everything good there. We'll see if anybody hops into the chat. But no, today is Friday, baby. That means it's Happy Hour Friday. Got the tank top on today, so hopefully I don't offend anybody. I got the Sasquatch look going on. But it is what it is. Maybe that's why I'm so hot in the summertime. The dog got groomed yesterday, Tilly. She's parts husky, Siberian husky, and poodle. And I'll tell you what, she is yo, JB. Thanks for hopping in, man, on a Friday. It's hot and humid here today. I got the tank top on. It's crazy. Sun's out, guns out, says Daddy O. Absolutely. So now I was talking about my dog, the Siberian Husky mix. Man, she gets so freaking hot. And they said, well, when I took her to get her groomed yesterday, because when we first got her, the hair just grew and she's just so freaking hot. She just pant all the time on the floor and sit by the air conditioning vent, just so freaking hot. And I'm like, man, this poor dog. And so when we first groomed her, cut her way down short. I mean, just like soft and smooth short. All the hair was gone. Didn't look like the same dog. The other dog didn't even recognize her. Tilly didn't even was recognized by Franny. Franny didn't even know who she was. So anyway, we let her grow out a little bit and start getting hot again. And it's hot right now. It's gonna be 90 plus degrees and humid. 95, I think, this weekend. So it's been a hot spring here in Illinois. S is silent. So I got her cut down again yesterday because I feel bad for her. And the groomer's like, well, don't you want her to look cute and this and that? And it's like, no, I don't care about her looking cute. She's cute no matter what. She's a beautiful dog. Cut her short. So now they're both over here. Yeah, so much more comfortable. The dog's happy, makes me happy. But the point is, I'm bearing all my hair. I'm like the dog. I'm hot all the time. So who cares how it looks? I got to keep it short, like the hair. I got to keep it short. My wife she hates cutting it short. Why am I talking about me? Title of the video. It's hard to title these things because I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I just ramble. So I thought, what did I make the title? Falling down, standing up while falling down, or trying to stand up while falling down. That's basically what we're doing in many facets of the game here. So thank you for joining me for cigars, coffee, and crypto. I just thought about that. Think of other C words we could throw in there too. Companions, canines. All right. So the Senate last night passes the debt ceiling. Trouble averted, catastrophe averted. That's the whole thing. They're all like cooler in South Carolina than Illinois. I know, we've been reversed, Daddy-O. Well, you're hearing stations from up here down there. So everything that's up is down. Everything is down is up. I remember Clinton saying that at one point. Speaking of cigars. So the debt ceiling thing. That's how the whole news programs, yesterday I talked about, they scared everybody. Oh, it's going to be a catastrophe. We've got this deadline. It needs to be passed by then or else everything falls apart. Hopefully it can get done in time and get to the president's desk. So the Senate last night, of course, passed it. Nothing new because that's all they do. Thanks, Carol, for joining in. I hope you're having a good day. I got to watch this because I bang on the table. My daughter's like this too. She makes videos and she uses her hands a lot. I do that. I'm always hitting things. And so anyway, the debt ceiling, making a big deal of it to where it's catastrophic if we don't raise the debt ceiling. Everything's going to fall apart. I mean, June 5th is the new deadline. It was June 1st, and they'd push it back if they had to, but they knew they had the votes. See, that's the thing. They knew they had the votes. The House passes it. The Senate passes it. Now it goes to President Biden's desk, and he'll sign it, of course, if he can make it to the desk. And it'll become, whatever, the new debt ceiling. We got an extra $4 trillion. I mean, think about that. We saved all this money, but they raised it so that you've got a cushion to where you can go into debt $4 trillion more over the next couple of years. I mean, think about this, $31 trillion in debt, and you're just going to stack on $4 trillion. At what point does it not matter anymore? I think we're way past that, but at what point does it not matter? So here we are trying to prop this house of cards up, stand it up while the whole thing's falling down behind in the background. Okay, put the cards back. You know, you get people pushing the cards. You know, okay, stack them again, put them under. Don't let the whole thing fall. It's like a Jenga tower. Hold that side up while I put the peg back in. I mean, you've got to see it for the illusion that it is. And unfortunately, a lot of people, I listened to a live stream, this guy called Crypto Charts, and he said, you know, he's working with the normies, you know, he's into crypto big time, and that's kind of, you know, but he wants to like work with real people, and he said they just don't get it. And it's true, we all know that. We're around them, and it's just most of the working class, the people of the middle class, let's say, don't understand it. And I'm middle class, you know, it's just I'm fortunate enough to where I don't have to do the hard labor jobs, you know, anymore, and any of that stuff. I, you know, put myself into a position to where I'm working in the tech field, and you know, I don't have to do that stuff. And I'm not around a lot of people on a day-to-day basis. You know, I don't go to coffee breaks and, you know, go to lunch at the gas station and get the sandwich and the chocolate milk and, you know, all that stuff and spend, you know, $12, you know, out of your pay when you're making minimum wage sometimes at $13 an hour, and you spend it all on that anyway. And then you get eating all that unhealthy stuff. But most of the people are just working day to day. They're just getting through. You know, how many people take their lunch to work? I'm off on tangents here. But how many people who are working take their lunches to work? I used to work in the corporate environment, and, oh, it's Friday, let's go to lunch. You know, drop all kinds of money on lunch. Basically burn 2 hours out of the day because, you know, you go there, you eat, come back, and you're like, ugh, miserable. I better go to the bathroom now. You know, and so probably 3 hours out of the day, basically. You're just killing it, you know, unproductive time. And you're wasting money doing it. But it's just this, okay, what's the next thing I need to get through? Oh, somebody's got a birthday. Oh, let's go get a piece of cake. I mean, these shows, you know, they make fun of it. It's true, though. It's the corporate environment. Oh, okay, go over there, and they're all in line for their cake. And there's just so much waste. I mean, there really is. And I get it because, you know, we all feel like we know we're underpaid for our work, our labor, because the way the system is, the way that it robs us of our wealth, you know, through inflation. And they've just done it again by creating guaranteed $4 trillion more Federal Reserve notes into the system. And so most people, I think, it's just a day-to-day struggle. And you tell the stories, you complain, and you say, you know, and it makes you feel better, I think, because, you know, oh, yeah, did you see what happened? Oh, that happened. Oh, yeah, you know, and it's just, oh, well, let's talk about the Denver Nuggets. Oh, yeah, did you see that game? It just gets us through. It's get through to get through to get through. What's the next thing? Just to kind of distract from attacking the real problem and identifying the problem. Because if you identify the problem, you can't just talk about the Denver Nuggets smoking the Miami Heat last night. No, you've actually got to do something about it, because you realize, wait a minute, I've been put in this system. Wait a minute, I'm feeding this system. Wait a minute, I'm getting abused by this system. Huh, what do I need to do about it? Forget it. You know, it's Friday, I'm going to the bar. F it. I got a concert to go to this weekend, or, oh, you know, I'm going to go to this, and just this bread and circuses. Meanwhile, you're just getting robbed, and you know you are. You just don't want to identify why. So I'm out of wind. I got to check the chat a little bit, watch what you guys are saying. But it's a situation where Rome is burning. They're trying to prop up this house of cards, this Potemkin village, this Hollywood, excuse me, this Hollywood movie set, and there's nothing behind it. That's an artificial construct. And we're all playing the game and saying, oh yeah, that's a real saloon. Oh yeah, that's a real bank. Oh, this is, you know, all these movie set things are real. And we play the game willfully. Oh, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about this, that, blah, 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 blah. Oh, my property taxes went up. Man, I'm paying this much. It's almost like it's a badge of honor to a lot of people. And I see that. You complain about it, but you're also bragging at the same time, because, you know, it identifies you as a, you know, well, I've got a nice place, you know, I'm paying $10,000. I know a couple. They work at a big yellow giant corporation. They built their own house. Well, contracted it. They didn't build it, but bought some land in the country, you know, a couple acres, put the house up, and the taxes on it, they assessed it for like $750,000, which is a lot of money for a house around here. And I'm like, it's nice, but you know, they had issues with it. The contractor went out of business. One of the upstairs, you know, wondering why one of the upstairs bedrooms is not getting cool or warm. Well, the ductwork wasn't connected up, it's just going into the attic. I mean, I'm thinking, how much you pay for this place? Anyway, their taxes, $15,000 a year in property taxes. You know, and you'll complain about it, and you'll hear people like that complain about it, like, oh man, I'm paying this much in taxes. Oh, it's just terrible. But it's almost, like I said, a badge of honor to where, well, you must have a nice house then. Yeah, I do. So, I mean, that's not something to be proud of, to pay a lot of taxes. It'd be, you know, because you're punished for making the place look good. If you let it get run down, you let it look like crap, and you don't mow the grass, then your taxes don't go up as much. And it's a screwed up system that it's done that way, to where you're punished for achieving. And it's the same way with the income tax. I mean, if you're playing by the rules, and, you know, you don't have any corporations and, you know, foundations and, you know, S corps or, you know, whatever that you're running through, and you're just an employee, you're getting robbed. The more money you make, the more they take. I mean, so what's the incentive to work harder? It's like, okay, whose birthday is it? Where's that piece of cake? Hey, let's go to lunch on Friday. So it breeds that mentality, because it's not really a capitalistic society like a lot of people want to say. And you'll get a lot of people say, oh, capitalism's evil. Well, communism's evil. Well, yeah. I mean, it's the people at the top that are controlling things. We don't live in a capitalistic society. We live in a fascist society where we've got this blend of corporations and government. It's a revolving door. You know, CEOs to president, you know, CEO to transportation secretary, CEO to this, to that. And that's what happens. And so they get deals, and it's just this revolving door. And the key to all of it is the money. So did you really think the debt ceiling wasn't going to get raised? Has to get raised, because they need more money, because that's what feeds the system. It has to continue. If it doesn't, if they don't raise the debt ceiling, then you got a world of hurt. It stops the money flow, and the prices, that's deflationary, because the prices will start to go down because there's less money to pay for all the goods. And that's not a bad thing, because if you live in a deflationary environment, the money that you have, let's say you have sound money, a fixed supply of money. Keep talking, Westwood. It's a Westwood Friday. What's today? Your morning Westwood. It's not wisdom. Morning Westwood. I don't even know what to call it. But if you have sound money, a fixed supply of money, let's say you use gold, and you know how much gold there is. Say there's 3% a year coming out of the ground. Okay, so it's a 3% inflation rate. But let's say you've got a fixed supply of money, a fixed pool of money, instead of just being able to create it at will anytime you want. That's deflationary. But that's good, because if you have a piece of that pie, then that piece is going to be worth more, because you can't create anymore, because more and more goods and services are being, you know, more innovation, more things are being invented. So there's more products to spend the money on, but the money's not increasing. So the money that you have becomes a lot more valuable. And so you can pick and choose. And so the capitalist market then starts saying, man, I got to get competitive. I got to make a great product, because I'm vying for a piece of that pie. And that kind of system works. And people will say, well, what happens when, I mean, you know, we got all this innovation, you know, we got AI, we got TVs, you know, we got all these electronic devices, you know, that are coming onto the market. And it's like, okay, that's fine. So the things that are junk, the ShamWow, you're not going to go out and buy. You know, you're going to get the things that you need, and the money that you have is going to be worth more, because there's not more money coming into circulation. There's more goods and services coming into circulation. And if there's a fixed supply of money, those goods and services are going to have to get competitive, or they're going to die. You know, the government can't just pick winners and losers, and that's what they do now. You can have a defunct company. You can have a solar company that doesn't make any money. But if the government subsidizes it, it stays afloat. Should it be afloat? No, because it doesn't make any money. That's capitalism. It doesn't produce anything that people want to, you know, take a piece of their fixed supply of money and buy. It doesn't make sense to them. And so the market will correct everything if you allow it to be a free market, but it's not a free market. So, and you see it with the Inflation Reduction Act. You know, it's done a great job. And think about all the money that's been created. You know, there was that, there was, I don't know, you forget about all the things that were created, the money that was created. But that just picks winners and losers. It's like, hey, we're going to print up a bunch of money, and we're going to put it over here for windmills and solar panels. Well, what happens when, you got a bad storm and you can't get any solar? What happens if it's too windy and it burns up the turbine? And well, how much oil do we need to put in the turbine of the windmill to make it run? Oil. How much fuel does it take and energy does it take to create the blades on these things and haul these things over the truck? Paulie P, you've seen them, I've seen them. You see these towers, in pieces going down the road on semi flatbeds of these windmills. Huge in the amount of effort it takes to energy input to get that thing out there and put it in. And I look over here because there's a bunch of them off in the distance over here. I mean, it's kind of a net zero at the end of the game when you really look at the input costs and what you get out of it. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, I'm all for clean energy. There's no sense being polluting things. There's no sense having coal and burning it, the mercury, and all the bad things into the water. So what you do is you come up and innovate with technologies which have been done to make it cleaner. And nobody wants to be, putting garbage in their food supply and their water supply. So you try to innovate through it. But then again, you go back to Tesla technology, and you think, there's energy in the atmosphere all the time. You look at lightning. I mean, where's that come from? Where's that energy come from? Look at all the energy in the atmosphere if we can just harness it. I think Tesla did that, but you got to shut that down because you can't charge for it. Because if everybody's got one of these little power collectors at their home, these towers or whatever it may be, and can just pull it right out of the atmosphere, you got free energy. You got one-time cost. Can't have that. So, I mean, we're going down the wrong path is really what it comes down to. There's not enough money. There have been studies for California. If you needed to fully go green in California, the amount of solar panels and windmills is like trillions of dollars. There's not enough money to produce those things. And then they're unreliable. Then you need battery storage because you can have a barrel of gasoline and it's energy. Boom, use it. Diesel, same thing. Natural gas, propane, you can just use it. Just keep it right there and use it when you want on demand. However, hey, the windmill's not turning. Hey, the sun's not out. Where's my energy? Well, you better have a battery to store it. Well, then batteries have their other issues. I saw one of the car makers, I don't know if it was Mercedes or one of the luxury car makers, just recently grounded one of their lines and said, don't park it in the garage because it's a fire hazard because it's an electric vehicle. The battery, there's something screwed up with it. And you look at the the side effects of going down this road. Is it a better path? And so again, it's like, okay, we're pretending to stand up and do the right thing, but the whole thing's falling down in the background because it's just not a sustainable system. It doesn't make sense. And why doesn't it make sense? Well, because you got the government involved, because they're again picking winners and losers. And they do that because they have the ability to create money out of nothing. Raise the debt ceiling, throw some more money at garbage. That's what they do. And so it's just, I mean, let's keep the Ponzi scheme going. That's all they've done. And that's all that's going to happen. And speaking of falling down, I mean, I don't know if you saw Joe Biden yesterday at the Air Force graduation where he fell down. I mean, it almost looked like it was staged to me. I mean, it was just, he, how he is when he gets done, he acts like he's going to do that run jog thing and then boom, down he goes and then turns around and points at it. You know how it is. You bump into something, you're like, oh man, look at that door. Why's that door there? So it's just symbolic of the whole situation. It really is. We've got no leadership at the top. It's just create it as you go, make it up as you go along, a system that we're in right now. Prop it up, make it look like it's working, but it's really not working. It's all a scam. It's all a front. It's all just, it just doesn't make sense. I'm going to check the chat here and just kind of see what y'all are doing. But I don't know. You got to realize that. And do people really realize that? They'll joke about it and say, oh, did you see Biden? And watch the clip, watch the clip, watch the clip. Then you'll go get your paycheck on Friday. And then are you looking at what's coming out of it and where the money's going? Hey, wait a minute. I just lost 30% of my money. It's just the way it goes. That's the way she goes. We got to fund the system, pay for the roads. But that's not what it does. No, it doesn't do that at all. And they can create the money out of nothing if they want to, and that's what they do. And so why are you feeding it? Why do we have to feed it and pay taxes and have our energy drawn out of us? It doesn't make sense, does it? Just something to think about. I don't even know what I'm trying to find here on my own channel, if I can even see the live chat. But anyway, trying to see what you're what you're saying there. I can't see the history on this, but it is a, ouch, flies are biting. It must be getting hot. Well, I don't know. I can't see it. I don't know why I can't see it. I probably did something wrong in the settings. Jim Montgomery, good to see you, man. Sorry for the dead air here. Listen to the birds. Listen to the background. Yeah, I'm not sure why this doesn't work. I was able to do it yesterday. See, I'm fine tuning this stuff. This is new to me. I'm not, okay, maybe that's it. There we go. Okay, cool, found it. Here's the live chat. Let me take a look at what y'all are saying. Yeah, a house is a liability if you don't generate income from it. That's a great point, Daddy-O. A lot of people, they try and rope you into this house situation to where, man, this cigar is not being friendly. I don't know why. It's actually a pretty good cigar. It's a Monte Cristo. A lot of people will say, ooh, Monte Cristos. I mean, I don't buy these things unless I get a really good deal on them. But I have a, this is the Nicaraguan 1935 anniversary Nicaraguan, I think it's called. It's pretty good. I like it. Not as good as the Olivas to me, but it's an acquired taste. But yeah, the house, everybody, go buy the biggest house you can. You probably heard that before. Interest rates are low. Go buy the biggest house you can. I mean, there's some merit to that, but if the rug gets pulled, you might have a 3% mortgage, which is unheard of historically, and you might have bought the $750,000 house. But what happens when the economy starts tanking and compressing and squeezing and they start raising interest rates? Well, that might not affect your mortgage, but it affects everybody else, and it affects everybody who's out looking for homes. So if you want to unload your house, that's one of the most illiquid assets out there, by the way. I mean, good luck selling your house. You got to find the right person. If you want to unload it, they're coming in and saying, well, shoot, my interest rate's going to be 7% on this. You know, you're going to try and sell it for $1 million, you know. It'll be 7% on that, and then the tax rate's going to go up, and oh my gosh, you know, now what do I do? So you could pay the house off, and you're still paying $15,000 a year in taxes. That's the way it is. I had, there was an orthodontist, my daughter, in the same area, in like a rural, you know, just like a rural subdivision that was built up and, you know, some trees around it. But he's paying 25 grand a year for his home in property tax. It's just unbelievable. I mean, think about that. You know, that's, how much do people make? And the tractors in the background. I mean, talking about real work, there it goes. But you look at $25,000, how much do you need to make a year? You got to make at least 50. But then, you know, after your taxes and all your expenses come out, I mean, you're paying basically all you got left to pay for the property tax. So you got to be making a lot of money, a lot of income to support something like that. And that's the place where you live. And if you want to sell it, like I said, in a high interest rate environment, are you going to be able to unload it? When people are losing jobs and the economy's contracting because they're raising interest rates, and let's say they didn't raise the debt ceiling, then it's all hell breaks loose. I mean, these things are overvalued just because they've been pumped up because of a system, just like student loans, because the system enables it and says, here, how much money you need? Go ahead, pay it back. 30 years, sometimes 40-year mortgages. Unbelievable. And you look at the front-loaded interest on that. You're not making any principal payment for 5 years, you know, so you don't make any dent in the whole thing. The whole thing's a scam, but it's somebody's benefiting from it. Somebody's being served by it. You aren't. You're not being served by it. You're just getting bled. All of us are getting bled, unless you know how to play the game. And unless you're part of the, you know, the inside crowd that knows all the loopholes, and hey, I don't make any money. You know, Warren Buffett, I don't make any money, but you know, he's worth billions of dollars. He controls billions of dollars. Well, how does that work? Yeah. They don't tell you how it works. They don't want you to know how it works. They want you to work. That's all they want you to do. Work, be a little slave, good slave, don't ask questions, and talk about the basketball game, go to lunch on Friday and feel good and be happy. That's what you get to do. So yeah, happy hour today at 4 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, the green screens. Yeah, that joke goes back to, I don't even like to kill the little bugs that land on me. That's how I am. You know, I just don't want to snuff any life off because, you know, I might be sent back as the little bug. But 4 p.m. today's happy hour, 4 p.m. Central Time. Litecoin Lisa and I do our live show. Check it out. That is on her channel. It's also simulcast here, but the chat's over there. The green screen, that goes back to videos. I used to make a bunch of videos on Twitter, 2-minute, 20-minute videos, 2 minutes, 20-second videos on Twitter. That's all they allow until now you got the check mark. You can be like, whatever. So I'd make a lot of those, and I'd always do it outside. And there was a joke, Randy, LTC, the right coin, it's Miss Teen Crypto's dad, and Miss Teen Crypto. They would make a joke constantly about the green screen. Oh, I want to see the green screen. I love your green screen, because that's kind of what it is. A lot of people have even said that, oh, that's fake. He doesn't, he's just using a fake background. Like, whatever. You can say whatever you want. Watch the shadows. You just keep watching the shadows throughout the video, and then you'll know it's not fake. It's pretty, I'm not that technically savvy to be able to do that. So yeah, we joke about the green screen because it's always green in the background, but it's real green. It's not phony. It's not false. It's not propped up like all the other people that most of the normal people that work every day listen to. You only got so much time in the day. So what do? You come home, turn on the national news. Every channel's the same. They got the same sponsors, and it's just different. Oh, I like this one because this girl's cute, or this one because this guy's doing it, and whatever. It's just another face to the same message, and that's where they get their news. And then everything else, oh, I saw that on TikTok. Yeah, that's kind of a conspiracy theory, isn't it? It's like, well, maybe not. Might be some truth to it. I want to take a look at it. But again, that requires taking action once you know the truth. And it's so difficult for people to take action because it's, you got to change your whole life. I mean, this whole crypto thing, you've got to change your mindset and say, wait a minute, this is a different way to do things. Why should, do I got to go out and buy silver coins? I mean, I think maybe I should get some silver, but what do I do? How do I do this? Yeah, you got to go out and actually meet somebody face to face at a dealer or something and put down some dirty fiat Fed notes that are garbage and get some real money. And so you got to take that step. You got to take that action. And most people are like, I don't know, I'll do it tomorrow. Same with crypto. It's not easy to do at first. It's overwhelming because you've got all these messages. Hey, I should get into the Pepe coin, right? I should get into Dogecoin, right? Hey, I should get Hex. This guy became a millionaire in Hex. I should be getting some of that, right? Well, how do I get it? How do I get it? And it's not an easy thing to do. And that's why, of course, I'm a big proponent of Litecoin. You've got a fixed supply. I talk about fixed supply of money, of sound money that works. That's one thing that's everywhere that you can go get. You can go on any exchange. Not a hard thing to do. And as far as crypto and Bitcoin, that's why Bitcoin's a good gateway crypto. It's just more expensive, to transfer it. You're going to pay higher fees. It's kind of like gold, kind of overvalued for what it does. Litecoin, kind of undervalued for what it does. And so I steer people and say, hey, look, if you want it, if it's easy, if you want to get crypto, the easiest way is probably go get some Litecoin, All the exchanges support it. Or you can come June 23rd to Peoria, Illinois, to the Peoria Pizza Works. Go to clintwestwood.net, click the link at the top, and you'll have all the details. And if you're not into crypto, just show up and be willing to just take 5 minutes and learn something, and I'll teach you how to download a wallet, write it down so it's secure. It's in your own possession, and I'll send you the Litecoin. You'll see how easy it is. I'll send you Litecoin. And then you're in crypto, and now everything starts clicking. Now you start thinking, okay, I'm curious now. How do I do this? If I want to send it, how do I do this? If I want to cash it out, how do I do this? And so you start asking questions, and it opens that door to where before you got to do all this research and try and figure out, should I be getting this? Should I be getting that? What should I be getting? I don't know what I should be buying. And so it's steer people to a direction to where they can take control of their money. It doesn't cost them a lot. They can get in and out of it if they want to. They can send it easily. It doesn't cost them anything, less than a penny to send the transaction. So it gets them used to the ecosystem and gets them using crypto and understanding what it is, because it's there for money. It's there for peer-to-peer transactions to where I can send it to you. And that's what we do. So you learn, and that's how you learn. And you realize, okay, this isn't so bad. This is an alternative. Okay, well, I can start taking money out of that old system, putting it in this, and then find other like-minded people at these meetups. It's like, hey, Daddy-O, you want to make me a belt? I'll pay you in Litecoin. I'll stamp some, whatever. Make me a sign? Hey, I'll pay you in Litecoin. Done deal. And so that's what you do. You build that network and you just opt out of the system. It's not going to happen overnight, but you've got to do it rather than keep going down the same path. And, you know, here it is. Well, another week goes by. I guess I'm going to go get drunk on Friday, which I guess I do that anyway on happy hour. But, you know, in the sense that without a purpose, you know, just an escapist purpose, in a way that you just get through the week and then get through the next week and get through the next week. And then pretty soon you realize, wow, everything I saved isn't worth anything. You know, all that work that I put in that I thought I was saving money, they just, oh, well, they're going to print 4 trillion more, so it's worth less. And they're going to keep doing it. I mean, this would have been the time if they were going to pull the pin on the system. This was the time to do it. Did they do it? No. Once again, no. So why do you think they'll ever do it? Because time and time again, they don't do it. It's like, you know, a beaten girlfriend. You know, you got a jerk boyfriend, but you keep going back to him. I mean, how many times you got to get beat up before you realize I'm just done? I mean, this isn't working for me. It's never going to get any better. He's not going to change. That's kind of where we're at. We're just abused, you know, all of us. And at some point you say, I'm tired of being abused. I'm just not doing it anymore. I'm out. And I don't care if I got nothing when I leave, because that's mostly the thing. Well, man, I'm going to lose all the security of this paycheck, you know, my pension, you know, and all this stuff. At some point you say, it ain't even worth it. I don't even care. I'm not getting kicked around anymore. Nobody puts baby in a corner. And you just get to that mindset to where I'm just done. None of this matters anymore. It's killing me spiritually. It's killing me psychologically. It's just killing me. It's robbing me of my energy. So I'm just done. And I'm walking away, and whatever the consequences are, they are. Because I don't feel right serving it anymore. Because you trust yourself. And then you got to get to that point where you trust yourself. And you just realize that, hey, I am a human being. I have value. And I'm not going to have somebody devalue me anymore. Whether it be a spouse, a partner, a government, whatever it is, you're just done. You get to that point and you say, I'm done. I need another option. I need another way out. And fortunately, we have those options now in the economic system. And so we got to use them. Use them. If we don't use them, then keep playing the same old game. Keep playing in the same vampire casino. Keep playing with the same vampire chips. It's the way it's going to be. So you got to make that change. You got to take that effort. And it's not easy for everybody to do that, though. But, when you know the truth, you can't deny it anymore. So that's why a lot of people, I guess, they shelter themselves from the truth and hide in the, the magic of the, illusion and don't want to face it. Well, I mean, then it is what it is. It's the way she goes. So most of you in here, I am sure all of you in here, you know what's going on. Howie, thanks for hopping in, man. We're going to see you in Peoria, June 23rd. I think so. That'd be pretty awesome. Make the drive down here. Howie came last time. See, I'm just not, this should not be called Cigars and Crypto. This should be called Lighters and Litecoin, maybe. Dogs. But no, Howie came to the meetup last year in Peoria, so that was pretty cool. He's a good dude. Hope to see him again. Whiskey in hand. All right, man. I'm with you. So yeah, that we'll start at. I'll start setting up. We'll start set up like 2 o'clock on that Friday, and then 3 o'clock we'll just kind of get things rolling. Hanging out, and 4 o'clock will be the live show, and anybody wants to come up and talk and tell a story about crypto, whatever, hop online. Get on there live, and then we'll just hang out the rest of the night there. Maybe have some pizza. Definitely have some whiskey, bourbon, who knows what, or just have some water. Whatever. And I think they make popcorn. If you like popcorn, they always got popcorn there, so you can walk around and grab your popcorn and enjoy the show, kind of thing. So yeah, June 23rd. Tom's in the chat. Tom, you coming? I think Tom was going to show up. Mark, Jim Montgomery. I mean, I think all you guys, you need to get here. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking at the chat, so I apologize. I'm not looking at the screen anymore. But no, good times. I don't know. I tried to start this. I wanted to start making a set time for these live videos. Hopefully I can continue to do that. But I wanted to start it at 8:11 because, you know, I just like the 11s. But YouTube wouldn't let me do that. It has to be every 15 minutes. So I had to start it at 8:15, 8:10, 8, well, yeah, 8, 8:15, 8:30, that kind of thing. So I couldn't do my 8:11, but that's all right. 8:15 works. So we'll see. I'll try and do that. And I'll put out a notification ahead of time to drop that out there. I know a lot of people don't get notified when I go live or even when I make a video. So, I mean, check the notification bell, just see if it's, because there's a couple of options. I mean, it has all videos and then it's got something else. I don't know. Just make sure it's checked for all videos. And then that way, if it comes out, it should notify you that, hey, you know, in 15 minutes, he's going to be going live or something like that. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Kind of neat as I lose my voice. Kind of neat, man. I kind of like it. Going a full Mickey Mouse. Did you see Disney World? That reminds me, Disney World, they had 8 employees, I think, in Polk County that were just, I don't know if they were tried or convicted of, you know, messing around with the little ones. And one worked at one of the restaurants down there. I mean, just sick stuff. I mean, had photos of them. We're talking infants, we're talking babies. And these are the kind of people that we're surrounded with. I mean, and it's systemic in all different, every institution of life. What was it? Was it Willie? It wasn't Willie Loman. It was, that's the death of a salesman, isn't it? It was Willie Sutton. Is that who it was? It says, you know, why do you rob banks? Well, because that's where the money's at. Well, why do you work around kids? That's where the kids are. So these people that pretend to be altruistic and, oh, I just love children, you know, the sniffers and huggers and, you know what I'm talking about, falling down guys. Those kind of people, it's pretty obvious, you know, just their behavior and their body language, how they are. I mean, we want to trust people and think that all people are good because we think, okay, everybody's like me, right? No, that's not the case. There are some bad people out there, and you see it. And for every one that's caught, there's 10 more. And we got to be aware of what's happened to this society and where it's going and what agendas are being pushed, because it's not healthy. It's not a sustainable. I saw the new jobs. Most of the new jobs that have been filled are not being filled by Americans. They're being filled by people who are foreign born. And you think, you know, we're transforming in this country. And I mean, I don't think it's for the good. I mean, a lot of things are changing at every level, but a lot of that, again, it's the government picking winners and losers and forcing agendas and allowing things to happen. I mean, you've got a laptop out there that, you know, what's being done about it? You know, all the evidence is there. What's being done? You know, where's the Department of Justice? What's happening? I mean, so we can see that, and it's like, okay, so what gives, man? You know, why aren't these people getting arrested? So if they engage in that behavior so blatantly, you got to think that it's very systemic at the lower levels all the way to the top. And most people, they want to be at the top in positions of power typically because they want to wield that power. And, you know, if they've got bad intentions, bad things happen. And a lot of bad things are allowed to happen and even encouraged. So just be aware of it and don't go through life with your eyes shut, you know. Most of you don't. I think everybody watching this, you don't. But it's just the other, got to wake people up somehow, you know, and if we can wake up, you know, 1 out of 100 people, that's one more person that can wake somebody else up. So you can't get discouraged. See a lot of people getting discouraged right now in crypto. Hey, Paulie. What's up, man? I got to keep this thing lit. Got to keep puffing on it. But I see a lot of people getting discouraged in crypto right now. I was going to wrap this up, but I'm still going. I think Ben comes on in a few minutes. I don't want to step on him. He's got his show at 9 o'clock usually, so I don't want to be that guy, you know, just ball hog. So I'll wrap it up here in the next 5 minutes. I forgot where I was going with it. Oh, Ben went early today? He was already on? I didn't know that. Oh, he's done. Well, shoot, I didn't even know he did that. Okay, well, I guess I just go live whenever I want, huh? It's just whatever happens, happens. Man, I forgot what I was gonna, 7 a.m. Holy cow. See, I'm going live early, so he's like, I gotta go live earlier because he gets up really early. I get up pretty early too, like around, about 20 after 5 usually, right when the sun comes up. And so that's the other thing. During this Westwood event in June 23rd, we're looking at the summer solstice. It's going to be the longest days of the year in that period. I think the solstice is on 21st. But yeah, you've got sunrise at like before 5:30 in the morning, and then at almost 8:30 the sunset. So long days. So that's not good for you, Paulie P. If you're going to wait until dark to drink, you're going to be waiting a long time, brother. You know, squeeze that in that little time of darkness that we have. So the shortest darkness periods of the year, longest daylight periods of the year. Dark to light, baby. That's what we need. Again, had to catch a plane. Yeah, Ben's probably traveling. He's traveling all over the place. It's crazy. I don't like to travel. I'd rather do my videos right here, and I don't even like getting in the digibug and traveling to town. A lot of things are unnecessary, I guess. You know, like today, for instance, I got paid direct deposit into the bank, you know, because that's how the system works. And so what do? I'm like, okay, I got to get to the bank and go to the ATM and draw some money out. You know, so anything I have in there that I don't have to pay bills with, I take it out. You know, take it out in cash, because you're going to need it. And I told the story the other day about I took the dogs to the vet and the power flickered because there were some pop-up storms. And I mean, their systems, you couldn't pay. You couldn't pay with any electronic money. And then I could have paid with the cash that I had on hand in my pocket, and I did eventually, but they couldn't get the invoice printed out. I mean, they couldn't tell me what the exact charge was because the system had to be rebooted. You know, it had lost electricity. So it is necessary to have some cash on hand. Even though it is garbage money in the long term, it still works for now, and it's going to work when other things don't work. So, you know, a blend of, you know, having some silver, cash, crypto, I think is good, because you just don't know, man. The thing's so huge. You've got so many moving parts in this system that it's hard to know what, you know, where you need to be, when you need to be. You can be, I mean, again, that's where I was going with it. I see a lot of people right now kind of hitting that capitulation moment at different levels, to where some are like, I'm just done with crypto. Friends, I'm done with crypto. I'm getting beat up. I'm, you know, sick of it, tired of losing. And then there's other people, you know, they'll win. You know, they get in the Pepe coin, boom, it pops and they get out. You know, Dogecoin was the same thing a couple of years ago. You had people just came into crypto, got rich and got out, got lucky. But they did take a risk. I mean, they did throw the money in there, whereas some people would sit back and say, you know, so kudos to them for taking the risk. But it is hard to watch if you're in crypto and you believe in crypto for the right reasons, going back to the Satoshi white paper of peer-to-peer electronic currency, and you're in it because you know the old system's dead, you know the old system's corrupt, and you want to get out of it. It is kind of frustrating with that mindset, knowing that I don't want to be in that system anymore. I want money that works in the new system that I can control. And, you know, it's a patience game. But, you know, it's always an opportunity to continue to, you know, you can get crypto cheaper if it doesn't pump, you know, and then when it pumps, I mean, if you've got a checkbox, if you've got a car to pay off, if you want to go get something, if you want to get something done, and I mean, use the crypto as money, because that's what it is. Use that money to de-enslave yourself, you know, disconnect from the system, because that's why we're in it. I mean, it would be a wonderful day when we get to the point that, hey, it's all peer-to-peer transactions, it's all crypto, but it's a transition in the middle. They're still printing money at the government level. The US government is still solvent, believe it or not. They're still able to make things work. I guess it's arguable if they're solvent, but as long as they can, you know, pay for things and people still accept it, they're still functioning. So, I mean, the world we want to see is not here yet. So it's a transition. And so you got to realize that this is a long-term battle. It's like 100 years war kind of thing. And we'll win battles, we'll lose battles. But the war is, I mean, we will win in the end. It's just that, you know, it's tough to see people go through what they're going through. This is just not a good cigar to be lit. I mean, I have other cigars, like the Rocky Patel I had the other day, the Sun Grown. This is frustrating. The Rocky Patel I had, the Sun Grown, I didn't have to light it. It'd stay lit. I'd go in the house, come back out, leave it on the picnic table. Dang thing stays lit. I don't know what it is, how this thing's wrapped. Whatever it is, it's just, I like the flavor, but it's frustrating. See, that's part of the overall cigar experience. It's like, I don't want to be relighting the damn thing the whole time, and then it canoes out, and part of it burns down, and some of them do that, and it's like, that's why I like the Serie V. The Serie V is a cigar that, it's nice, and, the Melanio's nice too. Anyway, get off on the cigar tangent, but it is hard to see people who, yeah, my Monty did the same thing. Yeah, Daddy-O, I'm just like, really? I just want to set it down. I want to be puffing on it like a cigarette the whole time, I'm going to set it down and be able to let the thing burn, and then I'll just, come back to it. But anyway, the frustration I see with some people tells me we're probably close to that capitulation point. If you look at the 4-year cycles in crypto, all right, I've been through enough of them. I've learned about crypto in 2013, first knew about it, and Bitcoin especially, and it was on Coinbase, and that was before Litecoin. Anything else was on it. And at the time, I bought 4 Bitcoin. I ended up buying 4, and we're like averaging $400 or $500 a piece, 4 of them. If I'd held them now, look how much money I'd have. But of course, when you get into crypto, what do you do? It's like, what are these other coins? Oh, there's an exchange, this and that, blah, blah. So I held it for a while. It really didn't do anything with it. And then come 2016, maybe 15, 16, because you had the Mt. Gox crash in the middle of it, and it's like scares everybody out of it. And at the time, I just wasn't following it enough. And I'm like, I'm not going to put any more money in that. Should have been buying Bitcoin like crazy at that point. Didn't. But I did buy Litecoin. And I remember at the time, it was when Litecoin had its first big spike up, and it went to like $50. And this is back in, I don't even know, 2000, I don't know, 14, 15, somewhere around there. And so I'm like, I need to get some Litecoin. And that's when Max Kaiser was actually talking about Litecoin, saying, man, this thing, you like Bitcoin, you need to look at Litecoin. And now everything, anything but Bitcoin's crap. So, it's disappointing to see how people change. But at the time, yeah, I had bought a little Litecoin and, overpaid for it, of course, but, you don't know. And so I sat on it for a while, didn't pay attention to it. And back in, like I said, 2015, 16, I see all these other coins coming out, it piques my interest. And so you get on exchanges, Cryptsy.com is the one I got on, and Poloniex, and you start moving stuff around, trading, buy some Digibyte, it's pumping. So basically, you're giving money to the market. You're chasing the things that are up and giving up the coins that you have that are lower. And you learn. You get to the point you can't do that. You get, you gotta, that's why it's long term. You gotta look at the things that are undervalued. So like right now, I'm like, okay, Digibyte and Litecoin are pretty undervalued compared to the rest of the market. There are other coins I'm looking at to where I'm like, man, those are pretty undervalued. Do I believe in them long term? Maybe, but because they haven't really proven themselves. But I'm like, there's a lot of potential energy in these coins that could, really make you some money if that's what you're playing. But the long term of it is if you just you look at these coins when they're undervalued, that's the time to be looking at it, not when they pump up. And that's when everybody comes into it. Oh my gosh, did you see what that did? I need to get some. And by that time, you're just the people that have made the money, they're selling their coins to you. And so you got to reverse that mentality. And when all these coins are getting abused and everybody's talking them down like, oh, it's crap, it's crap, it's crap. You buy when there's fear in the streets. That's basically what it comes down to. You get the best price for these things when everybody's afraid of them. So if you believe in the fundamentals of them, just like Digibyte right now, absolutely ridiculous. Like under a penny, it's like what, 3/4 of a penny each? And you look at the potential that's there and what it's going to do technologically. It's a fixed supply, and everybody can dog it right now and talk about all these coins that are mooning, but now's the time to like, this is pretty cheap stuff. I think I'm gonna roll in there. Yeah, $36 Litecoin soon. Add a zero, Daddy-O. But yeah, so Digibyte. Phil, it's like 007. I think it might have went to 008 today. I haven't looked. What's the price of Digibyte right now? I'll take a look. Now we're doing a crypto show. All right, we're shifting gears. The ratios. Hex is another one. And I'll tell you a story about that. Yeah, see, it's going up. It's kind of funny. Digibyte, let's look at that first. Yeah, almost 0.00795, almost 0.008, up like 4% today. Freaking steal. I mean, in my mind, I look at that and I'm like, that thing's way undervalued. That thing's been at what, spiked at 18 cents in the last bull run. And then see, here's the thing, the long term, like I said, I've been through like 3 of these cycles. And so you look at what coins have remained. A lot of coins haven't remained. Some of the OGs that, Pure Coin, oh, that's going to be a good one. Name Coin, that's going to be a good one. All these coins that don't exist anymore. So you got to look at the ones that have been around for a long time. Litecoin's been there since really early. And so me, I don't feel bad putting money into that, putting dollar bills into that, because it's not going to go away. It's proven itself, and now you've got more technology being built on it. So I look at it, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's $90+. It's like, man, why do I want to pay $90 for a coin when I can get, a billion Pepe or something? And it's like, you got to look at the total number of coins. When you've got, trillions of coins, a billion coins is nothing. If you only got 84 million coins and you get one Litecoin, you're 100 times ahead of the rest of the world. Because as I've done before, do the math, 84 million, and you've got 8 billion people, that works out to 0.01 Litecoin, 1/100th of a Litecoin. So you got to look at it that way. Oh, okay, well, I am getting a piece of the pie, a noticeable piece of the pie. Okay, anyway, but you look at these cycles, and you look at the coins that have been around. Digibyte, let's take that for instance. Digibyte in the 2017 time frame, I think it went to like, I don't know if it went to 15 cents. It might have spiked to 15 cents. And then this last cycle, 2021, it spiked to 18 cents. And so the thing I look at is the trend. Okay, it's going up. And even Litecoin, even though the last cycle it didn't beat the prior cycle's high by much, it did beat it. There's other coins like XRP that I know there's a lot of people that like it, a lot of fundamentals, that people like about it. But you look at the cycles, the last cycle, it did not reach the high of the prior cycle. So to me, in a long term, I'm like, is that sustainable, or is it just a continual downtrend? It didn't make a higher high. So there's just long-term things to kind of look at, because you're putting your money into this stuff and you're going to work and you're taking your money and throwing it into these magical coins that they work because we give them power to work. We essentially say they have value. If people are saying more and more that, there's fewer people saying it has value, then maybe it doesn't. So I look at those things. Important just to do your research on this stuff. I've been through it. I've done a lot of research. I still make massive mistakes. Is what it is because of human emotion. But see, look at this. I might as well roll this up and put it in a can, because it's chewing tobacco at this point. Can't even smoke it. It's smokeless tobacco right here. I don't even know what to say about it. Monte Cristo, not happy with you right now. This is one of your best, and I'm not happy about it. So anyway, look at these cycles. Hex, that was another one I was looking at. Right now, I don't even want to get into that. I don't even want to get into it. You can buy coins when they're like low and decimated and everybody thinks they're going to die. I'm not a Hex fan, never have been. I bought some early on in a bet because I bet that Trump would win the election, and Biden, he bet that Biden would win. And part my obligation for losing the bet was I had to go out and buy, 5 Litecoin worth of Hex. And so I took 5 Litecoin and I got like 27,000 Hex. It was like a penny or something, a little over a penny is what the trade ended up being. 5 Litecoin. Well, then it went down and ended up being, it was only worth 2 Litecoin. I'm like, this is a dog, man. This thing gets even, I'm out. And it did. And so I got my 5 Litecoin back. But then it continued, and it went to like 50 cents. So if I held on to those 27,000, I'd have like $13,000 in cash. I could have gotten a lot of Litecoin. Anyway, but I mean, the fundamentals of it, so many coins. I don't like the cult of personality. I don't like it when there's one person that's really the one behind the coin, and you put your faith in a man instead of other things. And it was never for me. And a lot of people made money on it. And it's awesome that they did, but it just wasn't for me. But now I look at it, and this whole train wreck with this launch of PulseX and people getting bent out of shape and wrecked over the whole thing. Hex dumped. And so I saw the same thing happen with Solana months ago. It went down to $8, and I'm like, you know what? I should probably buy some Solana. I didn't, but I probably should. Well, then it immediately tripled. So you could have tripled whatever you put into it. And it's like, you don't have to have an affinity for the coin. You can just be a degenerate gambler and say, you know what? Everybody hates on this coin right now. This is the time I want to get into it. And then you just wait for it to go up again. Now it could go to zero, but I've seen it many times to where when people are hating on something, when it looks like it's just beat to hell, that's usually the time to maybe take a little bit of risk if you're into that. And you know, ride it up and just be not care, have no affinity for the coin. Just say, you know what, it's something that might get me more Bitcoin or more Litecoin or more Digibyte or whatever it is you like, rather than working so hard. See, that's a different form of work. I mean, you're going out and taking a risk and you're saying, you know what, I'm going to put some capital into this and I could go to zero. Or it's like sitting at the slot machine, Paulie. You know, you go in, you say, hey, I might triple my money tonight, or I might lose it all. You know, but it's fun playing, right? And then so, I mean, look at some of these coins, and I kind of looked at Hex a little bit, and I'm like, man, that thing got beat up. I mean, it's at the same price when I bought it, you know, years ago. And I'm thinking it went all the way to 50 cents, and now it's back to a little over a penny, and everybody hates it right now and hates the ecosystem and pissed off at Richard Heart. Well, you never know. It might be a gamble. I don't know, so we'll see. But it's just something to watch. You know, I just want to talk about it because I am watching it. And if it goes to like 10 cents now and 10 X's, be like, I should have bought some X. You know, I'm not encouraging that at all. I'm just saying, you know, maybe that's a slot machine somebody might want to sit down at. That's your choice. Do your own research and trust yourself. But some of these coins, yeah, definitely take a look at it. Yeah, the Digibyte ratio, I was looking there, it went 12,000, a little over 12,000 to 1 a little bit ago. Last night it did. I don't know what it's at now, but yeah, owning Solana is like rolling the dice. It really is, and it's gone. I mean, so that's it. I'm not worried about Litecoin. So your conservative bet long term to me is, hey, last summer, for instance, in June when we had Westwood, Litecoin was hitting its bottom. It was in mid to low 40s. It was just dipping. And at that time, I said, I don't even care. You know, you had people saying, oh, it's going to go back 20 bucks. It's going to go lower. It's going to go lower. Well, at $40 Litecoin, I didn't care. I'm like, what do I have to put into it? Can I, you know, trade something, do something, get some cash to put it in there? Now, I'm not trading, you know, I ain't going to go out and sell a car that I need to do it. You know, that's the other thing. You know, you don't, if you've got, in my case, I had a little bit of silver. So I'm like, you know what, right now, 1 ounce of silver or 2 ounces of silver can get me 1 Litecoin. And I started thinking, I'm like, man, that seems like a pretty good deal. You know, a whole Litecoin for 2 ounces of silver. So I took a few ounces of silver, easy to sell it to anybody, you know, you go to the coin pawnbroker, whatever, you know, a friend will buy it off you. And then you can have the money to go buy some Litecoin. So that's what I did. And I'm like, kind of seemed like a no-brainer. And so now what are you looking at? You know, maybe 30 bucks for an ounce of silver, let's say, and you get a $90 Litecoin. So now it's 3 to 1. So, you know, you like 33% it up, you know, but I still got an asset that I ain't worried about. I still, you know, I'll hold it. But unfortunately what happens is, well, I'm not going to get into that. If you're using your crypto to get real assets, get things that you need, you know, when it goes up, rather than feeling like you're rich, rather than feeling like, man, look at my bags, look at what I'm worth on paper. That's like saying, hey, look at my 401k, look at my pension, look at the number go up on paper. It doesn't mean anything until you do something with it. You know, if you take it and get a real asset for it, that's a whole different thing. And let's say the price doubles after you do that. Doesn't matter, still got the asset, because that price can go 90% lower too. It's important to, what's the woo-woo dude say, lick your ice cream? I mean, yeah, you can look at it that way, or it's important to get real stuff with that money, because that's why you have the money, to get real stuff and make your life more free and disconnect and exit a vampire casino. It's important to do that stuff and take action at the time. And I know you're paralyzed when the price is going up and it feels like it's going to double again and double again and double again. It doesn't matter. You got to look at, hey, I bought Litecoin for $45, and it goes up to $150, and you think, I know it's going to go up higher, but it could go lower, and it might take 2 years to go higher. And so right now, for those 2 years, you could have actually done something and had something that you were going to get 2 years later, but now you get to enjoy it for the next 2 years. And it's like, yeah, it kind of hurts, you know, it went up more, but I didn't do it at the peak. Nobody does. Nobody sells at the peak. I don't care what influencer or chartist tells you, oh, I sold up here, I told you guys. Yeah, right, whatever. Nobody sells at the peak. One person gets that peak price, that's it, in their sale. That's it. One person buys the bottom, you know, in that wick at the bottom, at that lowest price. You're just not going to do it. You know, so you got to look at, you know, don't be greedy. That's it, don't be greedy. You know, just know what you need, and if it can accomplish those goals, and they couldn't have been accomplished without crypto, then accomplish them and check the freaking box off. It's just, I'm spilling, you know, just my own personal experience and my own feelings in the whole thing, because I see a lot of people that don't do it. Not that I've done it. I mean, you know, I've done what I can, but I mean, I should have done a lot of things differently. Should have gotten a different cigar. What a joke. I'll tell you what, that's an all-day smoker right there. You smoke that thing all day. I'll be smoking this thing still when happy hour starts at 4 p.m. today, because I'm gonna have to relight it all day. I'll be out of butane, but you know, I'll still be smoking it. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'll check the chat and then I'll check out of here. I think my best Litecoin buy was 32, 34 bucks. Yeah, because I remember in December of 2018, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna, like, any silver I've got, just push it to the table. And I almost did. And I could have bought Litecoin, but see, then I look at it, at the time, the silver price was low. I'd have to look at the ratio. It was probably like still 2 to 1. But in December 2018, Litecoin wicked down to like maybe 22 bucks. And I remember at the time, Snippy said, it's going to 7, baby. I'm cashing out. I'm holding out. I'm going to triple my bag. And then it didn't happen. And then he bailed himself out because, you know, he'll take the risk and do the things he needs to do. But man, if you made that trade, now you're sitting out of your Litecoin. And I know somebody personally that did that. Met him at a meetup. I'm not going to say which meetup, but I met him at a meetup, and he said, oh man, I was following that trade, and now I'm out of my Litecoin. Now I'm buying back in at 40 bucks. And at the time, Litecoin was $64, or I think it was, at that meetup, and that was in March of 2019. So in that 3-month period, the thing over doubled, almost tripled from its bottom, and he sold out thinking he's going to get it cheaper. I mean, how much cheaper do you want it? And that's the way you got to look at it. Just like last summer, it goes down to 40 some bucks. I'm like, how much cheaper do I want it? I don't care if it goes to 20 bucks at that point. I'll find more money somehow and get more of it. It's just like, man, and that's how people get wrecked. You know, that's why people are dogging crypto. That's why people hate Litecoin. That's why they hate certain coins, because they're like, I ain't ever touching that again. It's like me and Dash. I don't want to buy any Dash because I had 105 of them, and then the exchange went under and took them all. Why do I want to buy Dash at this point? I just don't want any part of it because I've been burned, you know, and it's just like, I just don't want any. It's like, don't want it. I was already in it, got robbed of it, don't want to do it. So I get it when people don't like Litecoin or don't like other coins because they probably got burned. But there's no sense in me going out talking about, you're an idiot for holding Dash. You're a moron. What's wrong with you? It's like, well, I'm the moron because they robbed it from me, you know, so I should be mad at myself for not taking it off the damn exchange. And I am, but I'm over it because I learned. I'll never leave anything on an exchange again. I'll always have it in my possession. So that's a lesson learned. Fortunately, it wasn't when Dash went up to like 1,500 bucks, because that would have been a lot of money. Fortunately, it happened when Dash was, I don't know, you'll look it up in like December 2016. That's when I got rugged. Whatever it was, it might have been $5, $10. I don't know. Even 10 bucks, that's, you know, $1,000. It's probably more than that though. Not talk about it. So I get it. I mean, I get it how crypto can wreck people, but it's basically you wrecking yourself is what it comes down to. And that's why it's important to be disciplined. It's important to look at it as, know what your game plan is. Know what you want. What do you want out of life? I want freedom. I want to own my house. I want to own all my vehicles. I want to have all the utility bills paid up for a year. You know, whatever it is. And then when you get to that point and you're like, all right, I don't want to sell everything, but if you get to that point to where you can take half your crypto off the table, accomplish those things, and then say the other half, you know, goes up and doubles, well, then you're even. Or what if it goes down 50% or 25%? You're like, man, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I did that, because now for the next year, I don't have to pay any utility bills. I paid them ahead. Or, you know, I don't have to make a house payment anymore. I just got to pay the property tax. It's just know what you want out of life, and if crypto hands it to you, pick it up. Come to the fork in the road. What do? You pick up the fork. Don't leave it there. So it's just, you know, the universe is going to gift you something. Take it, you know, and don't be your own worst enemy, because that's what gambling is. You're your own worst enemy. You look at it, you sit at the machine, you're like, I should have doubled up on that one. I should have bet on black. I knew I should have split it on green. And it just makes you second guess yourself, because why are you there? Well, I'm having fun. I thought I'd win big. I'm just into gamble. I just want to win big. Okay, so you're going to be a hero or a zero, and that if that's your mentality, fine. Then crypto's for you. But if you know that, listen, I know this thing could go 100x, but if it goes 10x, I'm free. I'd take freedom all day long. And it's important to know what your freedom level is and when you get there. Because if it cleans you out of all your crypto, that's a point you would have been at without crypto. Take advantage of it, man. I mean, use it for what it is. It's money, and if that money can accomplish and make up for all the money you've been robbed your whole life through the system, you know, through inflation, if that makes up for it and gets you to the point where you wanted to be in the first place, to where you can say, you know what, I don't have to go to this job anymore, or yeah, I don't have to make a house payment. You better take advantage of it. I mean, just some thoughts from me, not advice. You know, do your own research. It's just my experience going through this thing, being in it for 10 years. Not consistently for 10 years, but 10 years. Ultimately, it's, you know, again, don't be looking at your portfolio saying, I'm a millionaire, you know, I've got $100,000 or whatever. No, you don't. I mean, not unless you use it as purchasing power, as money. Same thing with a 401k. You might think you got it in there, but at some point the government rugs you and says, you know what, we're nationalizing all this stuff. You know, we got a problem. Got money in the bank. They come into the bank and they say, well, you know, we can't, no withdrawals. We gotta, you know, we're gonna convert it to a new currency now, and it's a CBDC, and you're gonna have limitations on what you can do with it. You gotta follow the rules here. You know, you think you're a little suspicious. No more cigars for you. Had too many for the month. I mean, use that freedom while you have it. All right. I'm going to check out here. I hope you all join in for happy hour at 4 o'clock, but check the chat, and then I'm going to roll. I'm going to see if I can continue to cash this thing out. We've got, yep, see you on happy hour. Hey, Tom. Thanks for hopping in here, guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, no doubt. Money for nothing. That little, he's a millionaire. Paulie, what's the line? I don't know if he's still here. Yeah, exactly. Coins are on the blockchain. You just got to have access to it, Tom, right? I mean, that's all these wallets are. It's your key. You present your key, and the blockchain protects it. And so you just got to make sure you've got your key. That's the thing that matters. Definitely. All right, well, the lovely Litecoin Lisa hops in is just as I was going to hop out. Hi, Lisa. It's good to see you. We're going to see you on happy hour. I've been talking about it here for the last, what, hour? Is it going an hour? Holy cow, that's crazy. I actually have things to do today. Imagine that. But, yeah, absolutely, Paulie. Dire straits. Money for nothing and your checks for free. He's got his own jet airplane. That little guy, he's a millionaire. And you got to move these microwave ovens, these color TVs, these refrigerators. I mean, you got to work, and then you look at, how did this guy do this? You know? He had a gimmick, I guess, and that's the way the system works. You got a gimmick, you can make a little money. We don't need a gimmick. We've got tools. Important to stay grounded. Look at this. Coffee cup. Drink out of the same cup for a week. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Got the tank top on today. Got the Westwood shirt on today. I'm going to keep it on all day because it's hot. We'll be wearing it at happy hour. What are we drinking today, Lisa? Crap. No noti for me again. Didn't get the notification. See? Nobody gets the notifications on this stuff. I don't understand it. I don't know why that is. I scheduled it for 8:15, my time, our time, Lisa. Nothing. No notification. I don't know. Daddy O said he didn't get one. I don't know what the deal is with this. Silliness. YouTube's about as reliable as this cigar. So Lisa's got all kinds of news she wants to talk about today. It's going to be action-packed. I mean, there's so much. We're going to talk about Mars, I think. I have a feeling she wants to talk about Mars. So I'm going to have to do a little research on that and look into some of the stuff she's been mentioning and see if I've got any insight on what Mars is. Matt Walsh and Westwood Shadow Band. Pretty much. That's it. Yeah, he's putting out some good stuff. He's got that website. I think they took that down, didn't they, about the laptop pictures? He did post some of them on Twitter. I mean, the truth is out there. That's what it comes down to. X-Files, baby. The truth is out there. You just got to go find it. They're trying to hide it from you and deceive you and not let you know what it is, but they put it out there, and if you do enough research and put the pieces together, trust yourself, kind of like Lisa does, you know? Takes all these scattered pieces of information and then, you know, sews it all together and says, wait a minute, I can see a picture now. I think there's something to this. And there is. It just, it takes some work because we've been inundated with not necessarily information, but noise. There's a lot of noise out there, a lot of chatter, and we got to cut through it and find out what is the truth. Because we know that what they're telling us isn't the truth. Yeah, this is a bad cigar. This is a piece of crap. Absolute piece of garbage. You know, if I did cigar reviews right now, not good. Not good at all. All right, I think I'll wrap this up. Join us on Happy Hour at 4 p.m. Central Time. And for those of you watching this not live, make sure you check out clintwestwood.net and go to that. See, there's a little pinhole in it, and it's the wrapper. Yep. Anyway, clintwestwood.net. June 23rd in Peoria, Illinois, we're having a live happy hour meetup, a live show, and the dogs are getting excited, so it's time for me to wrap this up. I hope to see all of you there. Lisa's bringing some people down from Chicago. She's reaching out to. We're going to have a lot of people come to this. I think everybody in the chat's probably going to come. If you've never been to a meetup, just come to the meetup. It's free. You know, learn about crypto, learn about freedom, meet good people, have discussions, just have a good time hanging out, you know, not with the unnormies. Not with the normies you're used to. It's a different vibe, and anybody who goes to a meetup does not regret going to a meetup. And if you're not into crypto, you want to learn about crypto, come to the meetup, set you up with a wallet that you control, send you Litecoin, you'll see how easy it is. You'll see how easy it is to take possession of some sound money for the digital age, Litecoin. All right, hope you all have a wonderful Friday. See you on Happy Hour. Thanks for hopping in. Tilly's anxious. I love y'all. Always trust yourselves. That's the most important thing. Trust yourselves in all of this madness. All right. Don't give energy to the vampires. Have a wonderful Friday and see you on Happy Hour. And trust yourselves.